Chair and members, I beg to submit.
Over the last week, various ministers and officials from different government departments and agencies have appeared before select committees of Parliament, raising concern at the huge budget cuts. This has left a number of legislators equally concerned.
And the cuts are in important areas like production, like service delivery. So now you wonder what type of budget this one will be, where the country is going. Yes, we know there is shortage of money because of COVID-19, but the cuts are not realistic.
I think the Parliament should hold the Minister of Finance accountable, and even the mother ministries, which also hide, because if finance releases money, the ceiling for a ministry, you minister and your technical principal, your PS, you should first certify the statutory obligations.
It's good to tell our voters the truth. The truth is, Parliament is just being used as a rubber stamp.
We asked the Minister of Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, about this.
Has reduced by 2.5 trillion on account of interest payments, largely, yes, interest payments, and because of the borrowings we made in the past. So there will be limited room for increased expenditure.
According to the budget estimates, a huge share of 13 trillion shillings has been allocated for debt servicing, with the country having a total debt portfolio at 80 trillion shillings. The chairperson of the Finance Committee says the way out is to reduce expenditure, urging Ugandans to tighten their belts.
So actually it's an area of concern. So all agencies are crying, and the only solution is cutting down the expenditure. We need to have very serious austerity measures which will ensure that we bring down the current expenditure in order to increase on the development expenditure, because it's development expenditure which stimulates growth.
The Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group says this was expected.
That you've seen that our budget has increased to 49.9 trillion. It is 50 trillion, by the way. It's going to be 50 trillion. But the amount available for government in terms of discretionary spending to spend on the things it wants has reduced by almost 2.5 trillion. Why? Because now we are more focused on paying debt than anything else in the government.
However, the organization's executive director, Julius Mukunda, says the Ministry of Finance should not have cut budgets for productive sectors like tourism and agriculture.
What are those critical sectors we need to make the recovery quicker? That is key and very important. So we know tourism brings in a lot of resources. We need FDI. Tourism actually has got a very, very good finance value chain in terms of getting money.
Economists say beyond the loan repayments, there are some other costs which have come in and will require financing.
And there are some hidden things, but people seem to ignore conveniently. Let's not forget we are having Operation Sulja. We didn't have that 3 years ago. This is, I think, our second year or so. We didn't have that. That was not popcorns and picnic. It's an expensive venture that works onto the government budget 2 years ago and is still ongoing.
Dr. Fred Muhumuza, however, says there should be joint corporate ownership of the budget and MDAs should stop the blame games.
This is a government budget. It's not a Ministry of Finance budget. The Ministry of Finance is doing it on behalf of the entire government. In fact, on behalf of the president. So everybody should now be looking back to say, it's not blaming, why have you cut my budget, why did you reduce? No. They should see the realities, require scaling down of the budget. Go and look into what things you can leave and what things you can go with.
We asked the experts for guidance on how to move forward amidst the circumstances.
Every MDA must ensure that the first core on its budget, its core mandate and function. Anything else is secondary. And if they do that, money will be enough.
So it's going to be an evolving picture, and I would really appeal to Parliament to say, even when we appropriate, these are assumptions. These are estimates. We might get more money, we might get less money. So when the Ministry of Finance cuts, please bear with them.
agency